What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Throwback's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Fansproject's Function X code, which was like you start with the C on Chromedome and skip so many letters and some such nonsense. I forget the trick to it, but it was something along those lines. And he is rep labeled up, but aside from that, this is him. And the reason why I want to talk about him is, one, we got a masterpiece version of him from MAketoys this year, which is kind of like a spin-off comedy of Fansproject. Anyway, you know, nothing new is out, to be quite simple, and we're going to take every now and then when something's not new, we're going to take a look at something old and just talk about the evolution of which. So, we're going to look at the guns, which are his only accessories, not counting his head, I believe. And two pieces of plastic pinned together here for a hinge to get you the handle, which pays off in gun mode, which is really smart. And they're better painted than the masterpiece version that MAketoys did. So, and by better painted, I mean they have paint on them, because I don't believe that the masterpiece one even had paint on them. I'll take a look here in a second. But that's them, and they work well, and he holds them well. So there you are. Now, when this guy came out, it was a big deal. It was the first third-party headmaster, at least that I can remember, and initially it was like a benefit kind of toy, and they didn't announce what it was, and then there was like a, you know, I don't know, it was a whole to-do. I remember when he went up for pre-order for like regular retail, and I jumped at him. I was super excited, and I got him, and I was happy with him, and the transformation was pretty unique and interesting and so forth. So we're going to take a look at him. The head, which is kind of the other accessory, is on that same kind of Fansproject headmaster spinning wheel that the one piece does hinge up to allow for a look down, or you can put the head in backwards, spin it around, and look up. But looking up doesn't really work as well, because the piece shows, and it looks like he has like a double chin, like a fat boy. And this opens up here, myself not excluded, I might add. And the face is painted fairly well. The red is all clean, and it's in the vents there, and the eyes are painted, but the color that the eyes are painted don't really stand out all that. Oh wait, yes they do, and it's lined up properly. I was like, goodness gracious, I remember that being a lot more blue, and that is good once it all lines up. So to transform him, you just opened up the legs, and let's see if I can't remember how to do this. There. And there, he has the swivel arms. The red is on the inside of the arms, the yellow face with blue visor. This little bit of silver is painted on the chest, and the silver there. And the legs, you get the hinge up, and then the hinge at the knee, getting it way past 90 degrees, mainly for transformation. And the eyes and stuff kind of go away. The back doesn't really look like a head at all, especially when you move the arms out. So that was, I remember being kind of at awe, or in awe of that, rather. And, yeah. Pretty cool stuff. It's just getting it over that notch that was a bit of a challenge, but it was definitely very cool for its time, and it's, to be honest with you, it's not bad now. So let's take a look at the rest of them. Now I'm going to leave the stickers out of it, obviously, but you know, you did have two tones of paint here, the yellow and then the peach color or sand color. We'll go with sand, and then the burgundy color. So you had three layers of paint on this guy on one piece of plastic, which isn't. You know, it's uncommon, I would say. Would you not? And then the shoulders were on a ball joint that sucked. And this sucked even back then, but it's extremely obnoxious now. It is the most limited shoulders, I think, in my collection. It goes out to there. And you can spin it around and out to there. So there's like, you know, past 90 degrees point of you know, range that you can't account for. In the shoulder. Now there's a bicep swivel, and that works fine, and then there's a hinged elbow getting you past 90 degrees due to the cut of it, and that works fine as well. Different color plastic in there, and then brown and white paint apps along with a gray paint app in there. So paint wise, they really, they were doing it back then. I'll tell you something, a little small thing, like the casing, the socket for the ball joint is brown, so it just puts that brown through on that sand color, which just breaks up the color a little bit. It was a smart choice. It was little things like that. Fansproject in particular, I feel like, has been slipping with their quality as of late, and there's a lot of things that were done here that I don't really feel like I see much of anymore. But 3 layers of paint on multiple pieces of plastic is definitely one of them. Articulation is the same on the other side. The waist swivel is intact. The hips are on ball joints, but the ball joints are tolerance very, very well. You don't even really notice that they're ball joints, but the range of motion, once again, is limited due to the cut of the socket, so it goes out to there, and that's it. Forward, backward, no issue at all, but out to the side is fairly limited. So he was always kind of a stagnant toy, which was his biggest downfall. Thigh swivel works just fine. No paint on the pelvis, no paint on the hips there either, or the thighs, and double jointed knee, getting anything you could possibly want. White paint there on the calves, and that sand color paint. So that's all fine and dandy. And then the foot had a tilt, but no rocker, and that was obnoxious as well. So yeah, that's pretty much this fella. The back cleans up phenomenally, I must say. Phenomenally. I mean, that's a clean bot, no doubt about it. So let's get him transformed. Now, I haven't done this in a while, so forgive me. And I think there is a way to do this. Yeah, like I think when you plug these guns into the back of the forearm, you can actually keep the guns in to transform the entire way. We're not going to do that, but I think it is possible, which is a cool feature. And we're going to take the head out as well. Now, I remember, like, I don't look at instructions when I try to transform figures for the first time, because I feel like it should be relatively intuitive, and that should be part of kind of the process, the puzzle process. But I remember this taking me forever to figure out. But this piece flips down, and then this piece comes up and slides all the way down into the pelvis. And when I finally figured that out, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Open this up, get the arms up and out of the way, and then rotate the waist. Now for these arms, I believe you flip them down like that. I could be wrong, we'll see. And flip those up. Bring them out to the side. I don't know, we'll see how that works out. It's something like this. It's another interesting topic, like how much do you really transform these things after you do it for the first time, if you do it at all. So we close this. That snaps together. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but either way, you get the point. Bring this foot down. This opens up, or wait, spin this. Then flatten all that out. Spin, flatten, and then turn and close. And then that pegs in back here at the bottom if memory serves. And bring this front bumper out. Push all that down. Close that up. Car. I don't think that these are right. But let's see. So I think I had it right initially with the hands out and then these flaps covering up. You just kind of had to push this up into position, and then you'll notice it rolls like a champ. And that feels right to me. I can't exactly recall, but it feels right. So these plug in obviously, and then you get the rotation there, like the hinge, to get you the straight ahead shot or the aim upward shot. And I thought that was really cool too. And I like the design here. I like how it cleans up. I love the transformation. Absolutely love it. It's very cool. It's fun. It's relatively intuitive. It's unique. So that's all good stuff. All the little details here. Obviously, we've got repro labels on there, so that adds. But you know, there's paint on the hood. There's the white stripes there. There's the white on this black piece here. The black and gray that's painted in there, and then it's just it ends up looking very dynamic for what it is. Now, to get this fella in there, you have to lift up. You have to pull this little steering wheel up. Sit them so that that's an awkward thing to have to talk about. But form them so there's a gap in his legs. Stick him in there. Put his steering wheel down. It's a bit of a burden. And then he's in there and he's good to go. And that's that. Size comparison wise, just because I still have them handy. There's Red Alert and there's Masterpiece Tiger Tracks. Definitely deluxe scaled, but you know, definitely cool for its time. And to be honest with you, not entirely hateful now. There he is with Weird Wolf and Sigma L, or Mind Wipe, I think is his name, and a modern day deluxe. So a good head length taller than a modern day deluxe. Final thoughts wise, the big issue here was the articulation, and that's not a growing pains thing. That's not an evolution thing. Like, this thing had articulation problems for its day. The moment people got them, people started griping about the shoulders. And I'll be honest, I had them in a very stoic pose on my shelf. Like, the MAketoys Chromedome is now my Chromedome on my shelf. But I had them in a very stoic pose on my shelf, and the lack of articulation never was a problem for me, only because of the pose that I ended up putting them in. But dynamic poses like this one, it is a little harder to pull off. It suffers from goofy foot syndrome because of no rocker, and you got to find something to do with the arms where you use the bicep to get your range of motion. Like if you look over here, you know, because you can't use the shoulders, so you kind of really got to know what you're doing in terms of posing the figure, using other joints to your benefit. Outside of that, though, he's pretty good. You know, there was effort there, you know, and a lot of companies have given up on that. Like, I've started drinking a lot more water recently because my wife says I need to drink more water, so I've had to give up some other things.
Time to get another glass of water down, and time to stop drinking all those sugary drinks.
Like what?
Like Mountain Dew.
Ah! Don't you say it. Ooh, don't you say Mountain Dew. I am an adult collector. Don't you ask that of me. But there was a lot of effort here. There was a lot of thought and love here. And that's something I really don't see with Fansproject very often anymore. But a lot of times, like newer companies, what you see is them embellishing articulation and aesthetics, and all that stuff is outstanding. And I love that new stuff. But what they end up sacrificing for it is the more unique transformations, the more inventive transformations. We rarely see an inventive transformation anymore. It's usually all very processed feeling. You know what I mean? This felt very unique to this toy. And the concept that they used, that whole sliding chest mechanism, they only used it for him. It wasn't something they felt the need to carry on for other things. There's multiple licks of paint here. There are silhouette-wise, it's kind of on the money. Design-wise, the cues look good and all that kind of stuff. It was really just the articulation. But it was still a very fun toy. It still is a very fun toy, especially transformation-wise. It's just getting them in those poses that doesn't always work out to your benefit. This is a good figure. It's still a good figure. The materials are still good. I think that this is one of Fansproject's better figures. And probably their second best transformation engineering next to their Smart Robin, which was Brainstorm. This guy's pretty far up there. It's a lot of cool stuff going on, and I commend them for this, especially in spite of a lot of stuff I've seen from them recently. And that's not to knock their six shot or their quick switch and six night. Like, I think that transformation is fun. I just don't think it's as effective because a lot of stuff doesn't tab in the end process and kind of looks a little junky. This was really clean. It was really polished. It made Fansproject feel like a professional company. And I'm not sure they have that same feeling anymore. But I'd like to see them get back to it. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.